Over the past few years, we have toured some of the most impressive new construction homes in all of Kansas City. And like half of those videos were filmed right here in this neighborhood by builders like Bickimer Homes, Willis Custom Homes, JFE Homes, and SAB Homes. This might be one of the last ones we do here. That's because they are almost sold out. So we have two brand new homes. The theme in this one is soaring two-story ceilings, spiral staircases, and giant lofts upstairs. And before we get to house number two behind us, we have to start with the Roosevelt by Bickimer Homes. It's 4 beds, 4.5 bathrooms, 3530 square feet, and it is currently available for sale at $1.214 $705,000. If this one looks familiar, that's because it is. We did this about a year ago, but it was their model. The elevation was very similar with some different colors. I love the mountain style colors here. It goes really well with the model we did a few months ago. But as we walk closer to the front, you'll see all the stone. I love the brackets on the exterior. It gives it a really, really unique look. Glass panels in the garage door. And coming up to the front of the house, oh my goodness, this door is huge. We're going to show you what it looks like on the other side. But this is not something that we see every day when it comes to new construction in Kansas City. So shot as soon as you walk in. Well, I wasn't lying about the soaring ceilings or the spiral staircase. We will get to both of those in due time, but the floor plan will be on the screen right here. This layout is beautiful. There are a number of different plans that this builder builds with the garage entry set up the way it is. I'm going to show you what that looks like. But as promised, let's get a close up of it. I mean, this has got some weight to it. A true pivot door, very, very rare. I've only seen these like 2 or 3 different times in homes. Again, we go through a lot of different homes, but I love the height of it, the scale of it. It is maybe even a little bit bigger than if you had French doors. So truly, truly unique. And of course, at the top, you've got those 3 horizontally laid windows for some natural light, 2-story ceilings. And we are actually, Alex, why don't we switch places? And because one of my favorite things about this plan is actually the reveal, right? Not many homes will have it like a true reveal. But this one, I think, certainly does. The first, it starts with the catwalk upstairs. It's curved. You'll see the loft, the way that that's situated. But as you walk this way and kind of around the corner, you're hit with like 3 different things at once. The first one, you got the spiral staircase. We'll put a clip on the screen from the 2nd floor all the way down. It is a beautiful, beautiful look. It is not easy to build a home with a spiral staircase because it does take up some square footage. So you got to be very mindful of that. But this plan has been iterated over and over again. We're going to show you the latest version of that. Second thing that you're hit with right here is the soaring 2-story great room, box vault at the top, the crown molding, all of the recessed lights up there. And number 3, one of the best lots and one of the best communities in Overland Park. This backs up to an easement, which means you have green space that will not be built on. They preserved a number of pre-existing trees back there, and it is very rare in this part of Overland Park to see trees at all, unless you've planted them, and they're very, very, we'll say elementary. But we're going to switch places one more time. Why don't we get a shot of the fireplace from behind the couch there? Because I think this does a great job of framing in the 2-story ceilings. The fireplace is built out from floor to ceiling there. This is rare. You're going to see it in house number 2, so make sure to stick around for it. Cast stone fireplace. This is one of the builders that I've seen do it on a number of occasions. It's another one that's pretty rare to see. If we get even a closer shot of this, you've got the herringbone backsplash brick inside of that, which is just such a good look. The stone hearth on top of it. And one other thing that I should point out, I might have done it in the beginning, is both of these houses have black windows on the outside and the inside. We'll talk about it when we get to house number 2, but this is not cheap. You will not see this in many homes around Kansas City, especially at this price, which is, believe it or not, very competitive for this community and this stature of home. I'll put the price of their previous model, which did have a finished basement, but this is built like a year and a half, almost 2 years later. So keep that in mind. The kitchen, I'm gonna put a shot of the model kitchen on the screen for you. I love the way that they set this up. You're gonna see that alcove appearance when we get to house number 2. This one, it's very similar to a house they built in Timber Rock in Lenexa, Kansas, called the Riviera, where they had this stuccoed fireplace. That's right, this is stucco. And you've got the backsplash, the quartz backsplash goes all the way up. You've got the shelf on top, outlets in the center, and of course, a gas cooktop with 6 burners and the griddle on top of that. This island is huge. It might be just a little bit bigger than what you'll see in house number 2, but you got to stick around for that because it's got some surprises to it as well. Composite Blanco undermount sink, champagne bronze fixtures. Sometimes I forget to point this out, so we're going to do it right now. You've got the speakers installed in the ceiling. You're probably going to see some of those outside. And then, of course, we've got the perimeter space downlighting, the downlighting inside the glass cabinet doors right there. And it's not just the Thermador cooktop right there, but both of the homes in this video, you've got double Bosch ovens right here as well. Everybody loves a good arch. This builder tends to do it in quite a few of their plans. And this happens to be one of my favorite elements of it. And that's because if you look right around the corner, you have access to a separate grill deck. We'll show you that when we get to the dining area, but this is the pantry, command center. I've seen that label on a number of their plans, boot bench, and of course, half bathroom. So we are actually going to start with a shot from the inside of the garage. Anytime you see these doors, just a really good look. They light up the inside, they're frosted, so they're nice and private garage doors. Openers are already installed. And then inside, you've got a perfect boot bench, stained top, plenty of cubbies. They even went ahead, most builders don't do this, they even went ahead and added hooks for you. Coming this way, the reason I say command center is like the perfect drop zone. It's a perfect vantage point for the house. When you're getting home, this is like where you're running the house from, essentially. So you've got all of the built-in drawers right here, the upgraded quartz countertops, the black window that overlooks the side yard. Very tasteful gold light fixture up top. This would be your entry closet right here. So you've got plenty of hanging space, shoe storage right there. And this marks the entry into the pantry. So you've got another arch. You're going to see a third around the corner. And then I love that this doesn't feel like your typical like white shelved pantry that we see in like every home. So they went with the green enamel here. You've got the built-in cabinets around the corner, deep storage with upgraded shelves. So these actually roll out, which is so convenient. So I know when you see these cabinet doors, it looks like it's just more shelving. That is super functional. But around the corner, you got plenty of prep space. The champagne bronze faucet there, the Blanco composite sink, another tasteful light fixture, second fridge space, and the microwave. You didn't see it anywhere in the kitchen because it's right in front of you right there. And look at that. Here we are, the dining room. That was very convenient. So that's one of my favorite things about the plan. We showed you the door going out there. We've got 2 more doors to show you, but first, the dining space right here is pretty substantial. I know it kind of feels a little different when it's not fully staged, but hopefully this gives you a good feel for what the space looks like as much as we can on camera at least. The big part of this that I want to highlight is you have 2 doors. So this one is just a standard size slider, and it leads out to the grill deck, which is a great idea because it keeps everything separate from where you might be doing entertaining. So we will put drone footage of the rear elevation on the screen, but it's not very common to see them cover this part as well. We've done a number of different Roosevelt plans. This part is usually not covered. The other, like the actual patio usually is. So that's super nice. But heading back inside, you can see the extra wide slider. I love the mutton bars. It's a perfect blend between the traditional design touches in the house, like the arches, and the more modern appearance like you saw in the elevation. But coming straight outside, we've got, of course, you can see the black windows, the outdoor speakers installed. But this view is very, very nice. And this plan, this the way this deck is situated, it perfectly frames that in from the inside of the house. So another shot of the rear elevation here. Again, everything you're seeing that's straight back, that is an easement, cannot, will not be built on. So typically what I tell a lot of clients, if you put a fence back here, think about putting a gate back there so you can access that space, but nothing will be back there, which makes your lot feel a lot bigger than it is, but you don't have to take care of all of that. So you don't have to deal with the maintenance of it, just your lot right here. So heading back inside, we are going to head to the front of the house because you might be wondering, well, what about, an office, secondary bedroom? We've got you covered. We walked right past it when we entered the house. So, of course, you get another shot of the pivot door. This is one other change. You'll see it when we get to the master suite. They used to have a laundry room entrance right here, at least in the model from like a year or 2 years ago. That's been converted. I'll show you what they replaced it with. But heading in here, super tall ceilings. For an office or bedroom, these have to be like 11 to 12 feet. You got 8-foot doors throughout this entire main level. I love that they went with the full dip. We're starting to see this more and more. They've done it, I think, in their last several models, homes that they've built. Closet is in the corner right back here. You've got the gold light fixture with a little bit of veining in the bulbs. And then they carried that same full dip, like forest green color, into the bathroom. You've got engineered hardwoods in there, vertically laid ceramic tile all the way up to the ceiling. Just very, very tasteful overall. One thing that's pretty neat, I've seen them do it in pretty much all of their homes, is right here, you have black lids on the inside of those recessed lights. Before we get to the master suite, we got to do a little bit of, we got to discuss this community, because I really amped that up at the beginning of this video. Some of our best videos have been filmed here. These are some of the best builders in Kansas City. Century Farms, Overland Park, Kansas. It's off 169th Street. It's like less than 8 minutes away from Blue Hawk and all of the shops down there. In all of the new home communities you'll find in Overland Park, this one tends to be situated a little bit further north than most of them. It falls in the Blue Valley School District. This is the last and final phase. We have to point out the resort style amenities, the luxury pool, the clubhouse, which has a gym, a loft space upstairs, kind of library, reading area, event space. On top of that, they also have pickleball courts, basketball court. You've got trails throughout and even a community garden. The amenities here are step up compared to what you'll find in most communities. And that's especially true the inside of the clubhouse. On the screen, you're seeing some of the final phase. We've done all of the models here, which is the drone footage you saw in the beginning of the video. We are going to break down a little bit more about this builder, but what you have to know, the reason this is one of our last videos we'll probably do here, because they only have a number of different lots that you can build on and a number of different spec homes that can be built remaining. The nice thing is, like you're seeing in this video, there are quite a few that are available right now or ready in the next several months. If you don't want to build, if you do want to build, they still have a few options for you and several of the best builders in Kansas City. But around the corner, this is going to be a very similar setup to what you'll see in house number 2. Here it is, box vault. You've got 2 of them, crown molding on both, tasteful light fixture, keeping on par with the gold theme we've seen throughout. The way they usually stage this is with a love seat and an end table or 2 chairs. So this is the perfect sitting area. I love that they recessed that entire wall. The view you get right here, despite being in South Overland Park, where we typically don't see more mature landscaping, given that they've preserved those trees, it adds such a nice look. And then, of course, you've got all the wiring in for your nightstands, plenty of room for a king-size bed. They carry the engineered floors in here, and heading in to the master bathroom. What I really like, you'll see this in house number 2 as well, wall-to-wall vanity makeup counter in the middle. The mirror, I think it's on its way at some point. You've got the light fixtures, the transom windows up top to bring in light, but still maintain your privacy. This is one of the biggest showers that you will see, period. It is large format tile on the shower surround, even the bathroom floor. You've got the, I bet they probably call this brushed brass hardware on the Euro glass panels. All the manufacturing, when it comes to gold, there's a different name for all the stuff. So the shower door companies, this is not cheap. They charge quite a bit to get that color. And of course, you got the rain head to match it. But around the corner, we've got the water closet. You're seeing the large format tile on the floor. This iteration of the Roosevelt, I think it's my favorite, and that's because they used to have a whole laundry room connected to the master closet, or sometimes you'd have to go around. In this one, you've got a washer dryer set up right here. If you have any hesitation or concern, like why would you put it there? You've got bedrooms upstairs. They've got a laundry room upstairs too. Of course, they've covered that box, but I love that you get the built-in and tons of shelving. You've got these tall ceilings. They really, really utilize them very well. And of course, you've got the shoe storage in the corner and straight ahead. But as we head around the corner, do want to break down the builder, because they have built some of my favorite homes that we have shown on the channel. And one of those was the beautiful Riviera Timber Rock. That's what we referenced when we talked about the backsplash over there. That home was incredible. It had Taj Mahal countertops everywhere, golf simulator in the lower level. This builder does not just build at a high-end price point. They build across the spectrum. Their quality of their materials, the designs, etc., incredibly consistent, which is not the easiest thing to do. They have a number of communities around Kansas City. They are currently building here in Century Farms, Woodmire, and Overland Park. It's coming soon. It's going to be a really, really nice one. It's just south of Terry Brook Farms. Heritage Ranch, that's a big one. It's in Olathe. It's on the other side of Heritage Park, and it's the last community in the city of Olathe that actually will fall in Olathe public schools. Most of those communities, they fall into Spring Hill schools. Enclave at Manchester Park, it's in Lenexa, Kansas, 7 to 800s. Again, this builder, it's not just a luxury price point. They even do quite a good job of making the 7 to 800s feel and really function and look like luxury as well. Of course, you've got Wild Horse in South Overland Park. That's another big one. It's going up right next to the brand new middle school that's being built out there right next to Wolf Springs Elementary. But if you don't want to wait, this is available. They've got a couple others under construction, a few lots left here, Century Farms, and we are going to head upstairs. The floor plan will be on the screen right here. And I feel like this is a special one because it's one of like a very limited number of plans where you will actually see this view right here from the upstairs level all the way down to the lower level. That is just not something you're going to see every day of the week. And it's not just in this house. You're also going to see it in house number 2. But we've done a number of plans where you'll see a curved staircase. The spiral is not the easiest thing to do because it causes a lot of other changes in the floor plan. And again, they've just iterated this so well. So starting with the loft back here, you actually almost have a little like 2 spaces, which is really nice. You can see some of that curve. I love the windows. I think these make the elevation of the house, the brackets they have outside. It is such a neat look. I really like it with this exterior paint color. What's really impressive, not just in this house, in house number 2, you're gonna see 8-foot doors over there. This one, you've still got very, very tall ceilings. And then we mentioned that you have 2 bedrooms up, private bathroom for each of them, but we mentioned that you have a separate laundry room, which is excellent. You don't have to bring clothes up and down the stairs. Everything's built out. You've got the drain, a little bit of a prep top, built-in cabinets, hanging space. And then right here, we're either going to see a linen closet or the HVAC says it's a linen closet. That is extra deep. Hopefully you can see it. But they've got plenty of shelves in there. And then around the corner, we have bedroom number 1 upstairs. This is 3 overall. And I just love the windows in this house. They even have them on the side, which they didn't have to do them right there, but they did. Plenty of space in here. It's carpeted. You've got the closet. We'll switch spaces. We got the closet around the corner. the private bathroom straight back with the matte black hardware. But back to what we were talking about before, which is all of the different communities you could buy or build a home. I know one of the big topics, one of the big questions I get when people reach out is like, should I look at something that's ready in the next couple months, or should I build? It is actually way easier to build than most people think it is. But whether you're buying something that's done or you're building, I think there are two things you have to know about. I call them the invisible risk framework. The first part of that is that there are a ton of options, builders, floor plans, communities, lots that haven't been released, etc., that you can't find online. And sometimes even one option that you never knew about before, that could change your entire home search. But the second is that any one of those decisions, even on a finished home, builder, floor plan, lots, all of the above, even one misunderstanding or one wrong decision can cause a financial domino effect that really, really adds up year over year. So any questions, buying, building, new construction homes, you're looking for some of the best options on the market, like these builders, these communities, or anywhere else across Kansas City, feel free. Give me a phone call, text message, email. I'd love to set you up for success, show you some of those options, and make sure you're seeing everything available to you rather than just some of the things that you'll find on Zillow and online. So feel free to reach out anytime. There's a full guide at the top of the description, breaks all of that down. One of the last things in this home, I love that this builder does it. We saw the bunk beds in their Augusta 5 model. They have this built-in, you've got the paneling, gold light fixture, the floating shelves in the corner, and this is pretty neat. You actually step up to final bedroom, closet straight back. So each of them have multiple different closets, and the size of this I think is very nice. You've got like 8.5 foot ceilings, and then around the corner, like plenty of windows in here, I should mention, but around the corner, you've got the full bathroom, and the closet is tucked inside of there as well. In house number 2, this is the Hamilton by Bickimer Homes. It's 5 beds, 5 bathrooms, 4,043 square feet. Beautiful elevation. We've never toured this plan before. It's currently under contract, but was originally priced at $1,299,950. And as soon as you walk in, this is the line of sight you'll see. Same deal, 2-story ceilings, spiral staircase, couple big changes with the garage entry, the placement of the second bedroom, and a way bigger loft upstairs. We will put the floor plan for this one on the screen right here. The highlighted parts, those are all of the big changes between this and the last one. But starting here with the entry, instead of the massive pivot door you saw in house number 1, we've got the French doors. They're stained. You've got the decorative glass panels, and of course, the traditional mutton bars in the middle. What I really like about this entry, and even up the staircase, you've got all this millwork going floor to ceiling. I love that you've got the 3 windows up top. Of course, with that drone shot on the elevation, you saw these black windows right here. I really like, one of the things we talked about earlier, Bickimer's elevations of their homes are so unique. They're constantly innovating, and they have different options across the spectrum. Whether you're looking for something more traditional, I'll put a shot on the screen right here of what that would look like, or something a little bit more modern French country like this one. So we will take a couple more steps back. We mentioned the curved spiral staircase here, but really one of the biggest changes is this main floor layout. Same deal with house number 1. You've got the 2-story ceilings. They did the box vault all the way up at the top. Recessed lightings, the lids inside the lights are black, which is pretty neat. And then of course, as we swing around, so you get a shot of the face of the fireplace here. This is cast stone, which is so classy. We've seen them do this in a number of different plans, like the Riviera, of course, house number 1, and several others. But I really like this view. We don't see this very, very often. So another thing that I really like that Bickimer does is you've always got these recessed built-ins right here. So it's a really clean look. Of course, you got plenty of cabinets on either side of the fireplace, and of course the right side as well, with the downlighting and the recessed lights. One of my favorite things about house number 1 it was the outdoor living, and specifically that lot. This one, we'll show you a couple clips here in just a moment, but same deal. You've got these preserved trees in the back, the other side of this lot, and you've got Chapel Hill, which is a neighboring community. But it's crazy because here in Kansas City, especially if you're moving from outside of the area, that just right across that lot line, completely different school district, big swing in home prices. Of course, this one's in the Blue Valley School District, like we discussed earlier, but I think those little changes, boundary differences, are pretty interesting, fascinating when you come across them. But this lot, really like it. The black windows, of course, you've got a little bit of a barn vaulted ceiling outside on the covered patio, but this kitchen, it has one of the items that we referenced in house number one, which is the alcove here. Really like this look. They took the quartz all the way up the backsplash. This, believe it or not, is actually stucco, which is so unique. They did that same material in the hood in house number one. And of course, you've got these interior shelves right here. But huge built-in cooktop there. And to the right, we've got stacked double ovens. These are Bosch appliances. The microwave is cleverly tucked inside the pantry, so you won't see it in the kitchen, but I love the glass panel cabinet doors there. You've got a spot for a beverage cooler, extra perimeter space. Even over here, they took the quartz backsplash all the way up. And one other thing I really need to point out is you've got these slim shaker profile cabinet doors. I think they're very tasteful with the design you see in this house. I've always been a big fan of those, but great sized island. You've got a composite Blanco undermount sink right here as well. And the pantry, I actually didn't see it when we were walking through this, but it's very tastefully tucked back here. You've got a little pivot door, and then around the corner you can see the microwave. You've got a prep top, plenty of face frame shelving and storage back there. And I like that they added the knockdown texture, a little bit more durability on the walls. Now, before we get to the mudroom, one thing that I do want to get to is the dining room back here, because the windows, the same millwork you saw in the front entry, we've got it around here. You can see it a little bit lower. I love the black windows. They're very sharp. They create quite a bit of contrast here. Of course, one thing we always mention when we talk about black windows is the cost. They are more expensive because they have to be made differently because they age differently with the sun. So because of that, you know, you've got multiple different tiers from white outside, white inside, black outside, white inside, and then black outside and black inside. And this is the highest tier, of course. But heading outside, the other house in the Roosevelt, we had like 3 different ways to get to the outdoor living. This one, we've got one door covered patio. It's extra large, which is really nice. And then on top of that, you've got these beautiful beams. And we mentioned the lot here and all of the private preserved trees back here as well. So we will put a rear elevation drone shot on the screen. I think the appearance of this house, you can see those black windows, they're just very sharp. But I love that they added the outdoor audio system. You've got an upgraded fan. So beyond what you'd see standard put in a home like this, which is really nice as well. And I think this could be screened in very easily too. But heading back inside, there's one more thing I've got to point out, which is we never got to the view from the living room to the catwalk. I love this right here. It's framed out. It almost resembles a Juliet balcony, which we've seen in a couple different plans recently. But having this all open and just a really nice feel. But around the corner, you'll see the loft. It is way bigger than you think. You saw the outdoor audio system. You've got the 2 speakers up top. And this brings us to one of the last parts of the main floor. We've got an office tucked right back here. If you remember in the Roosevelt, house number 1, you had the bedroom at the front of the house, in front of the master suite on the same side. This one, they're completely separate. This is a traditional study. It does count as one of the bedrooms in the stats we showed at the beginning, but keep in mind, you have 3 others upstairs and a loft on top of that. The millwork, love what they did here. You've got the box vault, traditional crown molding all the way around. upgraded linen shade light fixture. They carried the black windows all throughout the house. And of course, you have the hardwood floors brought into the study, which typically with most builders, the standard, you'd see a base carpet in here. So I like to see the engineered hardwoods. This is one of the biggest differences between the two houses, other than just the size, is this garage entering the Roosevelt. We went all the way through to the back of the house. In this one, we have a huge boot bench around the corner. I love the stained top. You've got plenty of shelving. And they even went ahead and they installed the hooks. But one of my favorite things, we mentioned it in the study, is you have this modern paneling all the way through. And that's why I pointed it out over there in the study. You've got the half bath right here, vanity, mirror, you even have crown molding in there. I love the color of that vanity. It goes really, really well with all of the stains we've seen in the house, and really the overall look. That's why I pointed out the slim shaker profile cabinet doors. But heading straight back to the master, very similar to what we saw in the Roosevelt. The way they used to build these plans, you'd have a whole separate laundry room. In this one as well, they have put the washer dryer space in the master closet, which makes it even bigger. But I thought this room was huge. Even without this being staged, you can really get a good feel for it. So nightstands on both sides. You've got the windows behind them. Of course, plenty of space for a king-sized bed. And the way we've seen this staged in the past is usually a sitting area with 2 chairs or a love seat and of course an end table. So you got a ton of room in here. They did the millwork, got the box vault, double crown molding around the ceiling, and the French doors going in to the master bathroom. But in this one, you're gonna see some huge tile. You've got the large format on the floor. You've got upgraded large format tile in the shower. And right here, of course, they carry that same block trim around the freestanding tub. I love that they added the black frosted window there for light and privacy. And of course, one of the big questions we've been getting is whenever you see those wall-to-wall vanities, like where's the makeup counter? They've got it tastefully built in right here. The 3 mirror setup, and around the corner, this shower is actually huge. You've got the Euro glass panel door, and of course, you can see the beautiful tile there, the rain head, the oversized bench, which is bigger than we'd normally see. And right behind us is actually the water closet. But this master closet, oh my goodness, you got a peninsula right here, which to have a master closet this big, to be able to fit the peninsula and still have plenty of room to where it doesn't feel crammed, is huge. Laundry setup is right in front of you. And then of course, they've got plenty of face frame shelving, the corner shelves over there, everything over here. And you've got the black windows looking out to the front on top of all of that. But we are going to cut to the upper level, the floor plan. We'll put it on the screen right here, just briefly. 3 bedrooms up, plus a loft that is way bigger than you'd think in real life. You're coming up the staircase. One of the major differences with this one is you've got a ledge there. They put an outlet. I think this is perfect. We're coming up on holiday season. I think that's a perfect spot for some holiday decor, maybe even a Christmas tree. And as we come up the stairs, you'll see all of the trim work. We are going to start with view of the opposite side of the catwalk. You can see those 2-story ceilings, cast stone fireplace. Really, really one of the biggest draws of both of these plans is that vantage point right there. But we are going to get through the bedrooms. I'll take you through the loft last. Of course, these are some of the tallest ceilings we've seen in a secondary bedroom. These must be at least 9.5 to 10 feet tall. We'll show you once we leave, you've got an 8-foot door on the entrance to this bedroom. You got the beautiful black casement windows. And then around the corner, one of the other nice things about this plan, every bedroom up has its own private full bathroom. And as we turn the corner, closets back there as well. And this is the 8-foot door we mentioned. Actually, that's true of this entire upper level. pocket doors right here into the huge laundry room, which is very convenient. It means you don't have to bring things up and down the stairs. Love that you have that oversized prep top there. Landing is all engineered hardwoods. And decisions. We're going to start with bedroom number 2 upstairs. This one also a great size. You can see those mature trees in the back. That is very rare in this part of town. I've grown up in Fairway and Prairie Village, where you have a lot of homes built in the 1950s, a lot of teardowns, new builds. Trees like this, very rare to see this far south in Overland Park. Straight back, we've got private bathroom number 2. Closet is tucked around the corner. I like that they even went ahead and added the shower door in there to round it all off. But around the corner, this is really impressive to see 8-foot doors on a second level. It's not every day that we see this. This is a very tall house, and you can see that from the curb. Linen closet around the corner. Straight back, I said we're going to keep it till the end, but you've already seen it, so cat's out of the bag here. This is the loft area, which is huge. I love that you've got the nook space back here with like a little bit of a barn vaulted ceiling. This is like the perfect media center, desks for the kids, study stations, and of course, you've got all of this room. I love that the windows on the side here are up at the top, so if you did want a TV up against that wall or that one, you've got your pick. They round this all off with the French pocket doors here, also 8 feet tall. This is really, really impressive. For this price, I know it was listed at 1.3, but for this size of house in this community, this level of finish, this is pretty competitive. Final bedroom here. You've got all the windows around the corner. We've got our last private bathroom. But that is all for this one. So let me know in the comments, which one was your favorite? Was it house number 1, the Roosevelt, or was it house number 2, the Hamilton? Big thank you to Bickimer Homes, as well as Alex and Rochelle, the on-site agents here. Alex helps me film all the videos. Could not do all of this without him. And finally, any questions buying, building a new construction home in Kansas City? There are a ton of options, communities, floor plans, builders out there. A fraction of them can be found online, and there's a ton of hidden options. Just one of those could change everything about your home search. The sooner you reach out, the sooner we can get those in front of you. So feel free to give me a phone call, text message, email if you have any interest in buying or building a new home in Kansas City. And finally, there are 2 videos on the screen. This one is a full playlist of Bickimer's homes. And this one is another playlist of all the property tours we've done right here in Century Farm. So click there or here, and we'll see you on the other side.